Hello, it's good to see you. I have heard that you're coming in today for a pumpkin carving consultation. I'd like to commend you for making this brave decision. A lot of people decide to go through this phase of their life alone, and you are brave enough to know that it is okay to ask for help. Deciding what to carve into your pumpkin for Halloween is a life-changing decision, and I think you've made the right choice by getting professional advice here today. Absolutely, absolutely. So, I am opening a new file for you since you're a new customer with us. So I need to get a few basic things down for you information-wise, like your name, address, stuff like that. Are you okay with that? Alright. So I'm going to be writing in here. So first, we're going to need your name. First and last, if you would. And then the last. Oh, now what do you spell that? Yeah. Okay. And then your address. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. And then, how long have you been carving pumpkins? Your first time, okay. And were you referred to us, or how did you find this business? And then, what kind of pumpkin are you usually interested in when it comes to jack-o'-lanterns? Okay, so we're going to be starting the consultation process. I have a few drawings here as examples of what we could do. But first I have to ask you a few questions about your preferences. So, when you are imagining the kind of pumpkin that you would want, are you thinking of a traditional pumpkin with the traditional jack-o'-lantern face, or are you thinking of a pumpkin that is less traditional? Okay. And then there are a few different methods for carving pumpkins. And there's a few levels of pumpkin carving. They do usually scale with ability and technique. And so we have to know whether you are getting the design and then hiring a pumpkin carver to be carving for you, or if you are taking this task on yourself. Alright, so you're doing your own pumpkin carving. Yes, I think that's very commendable. It's quite a challenge to undertake, but I do believe everyone has that in them. If you're going to be doing your own pumpkin, and this is the first jack-o'-lantern that you've carved, I'm going to advise that you start at an entry level when it comes to your pumpkin. Usually entry level would involve the traditional face of a pumpkin, and it would also not involve any of the more complicated carving techniques like carving away bits of the skin and changing the thickness of the outside of the pumpkin to reveal different levels of light through the carving. Those are more advanced techniques that I wouldn't usually advise a beginner to use. Is that okay with you? Alright. So if we're going to do a more traditional pumpkin, what are you seeing for that? So you want a kind of pumpkin that is traditional but still has some sort of flavor that you can add to it to make it more like you. Yes, absolutely. It's understandable that you would want to put some of your own creativity into this process. It's very personal for each person what they want on their jack-o'-lantern. Yes, absolutely. So, if you're going to be going with a more traditional pumpkin face like this, there's a few things that we have to think about. There's the shape of the nose, the shape of the eyes, the shape of the mouth, and then also the shape of the teeth. Now, if for a more scary appearance, you would want to go with the pointed teeth like we see on this example. But you could also go with more flattened teeth, molars, sort of, to make the pumpkin look more friendly. But there is also a way that you could do that to make the pumpkin look more uncanny and unsettling. So there's avenues to take both ways. So with this kind of pumpkin, there's usually a smile that you see on them. Do you want the smile, or do you want some sort of frown? And if you want to show particular types of emotion, would you rather have the pumpkin have eyebrows or not? Usually the traditional jack-o'-lantern does not have the eyebrows, but they can be very good for showing particular parts, particular emotions that you would like to show off in the face. Okay. So, one of the ways that you could do eyes, where you could avoid the eyebrows but also include a emotion in it. These are still triangle eyes, but they are slanted down in a way that shows that kind of frown, and in the way that you would actually carve it would be to leave these pieces out as you cut around this, so that you have these slanted eyes. You could also do circular ones like that to make their eyes look more human, but if you wanted, you could do these slanted ones to make them look less human, which can add to the spooky factor. So you're interested in the slanted eyes? With the more pointed irises to, yes, for the non-human look. And then you said that you might be interested in a werewolf-esque face, some animalistic features. Okay, well, I took the liberty of drawing up a design I thought maybe that you would enjoy. And there's a few options. Right here we are seeing a more animalistic animalistic face. We have a nose. We could do a few things with that, but the nose here is a more dog-like nose. Though in the actual pumpkin we might have some flare or slitted nostrils to better exemplify the animalistic nature of this carving. And then we have two options for the ears. The first option could be cutouts above this part of the face to exemplify ears. The upside of a design like that would be that the light from inside the pumpkin could shine out through the ears like the rest of the face. But you can also take cutouts from the eyes, the actual triangular piece that you would use for the eyes, and then usually using something like a toothpick, placing it on top of the pumpkin to be like ears on top of the actual form. What do you think about that? Yeah, so if you were to use these cutouts from the eyes, the ears would have these cuts in them, that negative space created by the pupils that you added into the eyes. But if you were doing an animalistic form, these cuts could look like snacks in ears, and they could add to the idea of a animalistic form that has done a lot of fighting so much that they have gotten bites and snacks in their ears over the years. That could be even an addition to the form. You would like the 3D physical version? Yes. So I have drawn up a finalized version of what you would want to see there. And we can go over that now if you would like. Okay. So this is what we're looking at for the final version of the pumpkin design. We have the mouth with the pointed teeth to give off that wolf-like appearance. Then we have the dog-like nose, and these are going to be slanted cutouts that we leave. And then the eyes that are slanted down to give that evil, malicious smile. And then the ears to really give it that final touch to make it look like a actual wolf. Yes, this I think is a fantastic final design to be looking at. And what we could do with this design, if you would like to choose that one, is we could take it and then our team will take the design and create a pamphlet, an instructional guide of sorts that we write up step by step, going through the process of carving the pumpkin from step 1 to the very last step, A to Z, very thorough, and then you would be able to follow that to be able to replicate this design as best as possible. We also provide a stencil that we could make and send to you also. So that is complimentary to the consultation package. Would you like those things? Absolutely. So we will be writing up those instructions, numbered steps, and then the stencil. We do advise that you read through all the instructions first before actually starting the carving so that you know from the first to last step where you're going with all of this. And then we do advise that you draw your stencil on the pumpkin in a medium that you can erase. Any permanent marker can actually be erased effectively with rubbing alcohol. Yes, so that's a good method for that. We also have a recommendation guide for what knives to use and such if you're interested. Alright, we can send that along for you too. Okay, thank you so much for coming in. I think we made fantastic progress, and I think we made a wonderful, unique design for you this year. Yes. I hope that you are satisfied with the design. Fantastic. And we'll get that guide sent along to you as soon as possible. Alright. Thank you so much for coming in.